Ahoy, ye scallywags! This is Pleiades, aka Mrs. Celia Girl, still have better hips than her, here with my faithful deputy, D'Angelo.
What's up, brochachos?
And we're here with the TBP Podcast, Episode 1, talking about all the latest and greatest in the world, or at the very least, whatever's most current. Let's get just right into it. Despite the fact that every other anime has either been canceled or delayed, somehow we been promised, I guess would be the term, uh, a sequel to Inuyasha in the fall. I'm not sure how that's going to happen exactly, considering it seems like every other production has either been halted or just experienced a lot of difficulties. Um, Honestly, my first just thoughts are, aside from the logistics of it, uh, I personally did not care for the initial Inuyasha anime. I will go on record. It's like a one. It's like 1 in every 10 episodes to me was decent, and I'll get into why that is exactly in just a bit. But hearing this, the first thing I thought of was why? What? Why does every anime that was popular in like the 90s, mid 2000s need to have a sequel? Of course, I mean, stupid question. The answer is money. But I did have a thought that this sequel might actually turn out better than the source material.
So really, I think it's not just money; it's easy money because you don't really have to put much thought into it. The fan base is already there, and then you can just copy and paste the Boruto strategy. So it's easy money. That's the key here. It's really easy money. And I saw, like, ever since this announcement came out, I started snooping a little bit. I'm kind of on the same page with Pleiades here about not the greatest Inuyasha fan, but I've always liked the Inuyasha like aesthetic, like the characters designs and stuff. I really like, and like the whole world. I liked how everything looked, but the story itself was not so great in my opinion. But ever since this announcement came out, I got like curious stuff that I started like snooping around, and like I'd find like Inuyasha Twitters and Inuyasha Facebook pages,
Oh god.
and like people are wild in over this, dude. They're all loving it. So like that the community's thriving right now for this. They're going bananas for it. So I mean, easy money.
I mean, no joke. It's been a long running joke, but I mean, it's serious. Inuyasha is Dragon Ball Z for girls. There's no other way around it. Despite the fact that it had like a little bit of a shonen tinge to it, and I guess that's what the mangaka was trying to go for over a lot of their earlier projects, which is, I mean, Ranma's more like a comedy, even though there was some martial arts in there. And I gotta agree, the story, I fucking hated it, and it's because it was bottlenecked by one factor, and that is a singular main antagonist that every single time it got real close to killing him, it would just be a massive cock tease. He'd run away because of some stupid shit, and it would just keep going. It was the most anticlimactic thing because, like, every single time you think, oh, okay, they'll get him, and it's no big deal if they do get him because they could have just transitioned to other bad guys or other antagonists. Because it's not like there wasn't any good antagonist in that series. I mean, like, of course, you got Sesshomaru. You have like the Band of Seven, whatever they're called. That was amazing because that was also when the anime, like the animation quality, just went up to 10. Like it got clean, it got crisp, and usually I kind of fall in the vein of like, it feels a little like sterile or like just there's no heart in it. But for whatever reason, when they did with Inuyasha, it really did bring my interest back in. So hope to fucking God, if they just don't involve Naraku like in any way, shape, or form, I think we got a shot at a decent series because there were some solid ideas in there. Hell, the movies. The movies are actually pretty dope because, well, the ones that didn't have to do with fucking Naraku, right? Especially anything that had to do with Inuyasha's dad and that whole thing. I don't know why they didn't do more with that.
They have to bring Naraku back because that's the bread and butter, dude. That's that
I will
nostalgia
punch
cash in,
myself in
dude.
the dick.
That's a nostalgia cash in, bro. There's no, you don't have to think of a good story. You just got to cash in on that nostalgia. And when you were going on about the story, see,
Mhm.
when you're talking about how like the mangaka wanted it to be like more shonen. See, I think that's what weakened it because I really like the shoujo parts where like all the cutesy interaction with Inuyasha and Kogome. I'm a sucker for that type of stuff. I love it. But like, I want more of that, like amplified, and because all of the shonen stuff sucked. If I could get more of that, and it was like a romance comedy or something about like them being in like different time periods, that would have been fire. That would fire. But all the shonen like the story arcs and stuff just weren't very good.
Oh no, that entire part, like you could tell that's where it was weaker, and you can, but like it also had this kind of like I don't know if you've seen it or how many shoujos you're familiar with, but there's always this thing where the driving force of any conflict tends to be misunderstandings. And I swear to God, there must have been 10 million just like Kagome like walking in and he like Chikio's just there. And then now they're huffy for like 10 episodes. And I mean, that's where you see that the plot leans heavily towards the shoujo end. The actual shonen parts, it was pretty much just like mostly in. There was a couple good fights, but the only times it really showed itself was when Inuyasha got power up for his sword, which admittedly for me, like those were the coolest moments.
His
Like he
sword was
got
really cool. The
it,
the,
it,
the
it
that little shitty ass katana that like became awesome. That was really cool. I like that.
like it was such a cool concept because it was like, oh, cool, it's my dad's tooth, whatever, right? And then like later on, he has to use his own tooth as a sword. I was, oh, that's like I like that because it's like, oh, I'm trying to step out of my dad's shadow, but of course, when he starts using it, it's real heavy. So it's like, oh man, the weight of this. So I love shit like that, right? The problem was that there were some power ups that just didn't fucking matter at all, and it's just like why even have this? There was one where the entire point of an entire arc was that Naraku was just in a barrier in a mountain or some shit, and they couldn't break it. Go around just dicking around trying to find a solution. Finally, like Inuyasha gets his first sword power up, and it turns it red so it can break barriers. And they're like, "Oh, cool! We're gonna bust his ass open, break the barrier." Homeboy flies off, and then he creates another home, like another fortress with a stronger barrier.
That's the whole
Repeat.
show. That's the whole show.
I can't fucking stand it.
That Brody dip every time. That's the whole show. Is I'm gonna head out, and then it's rinse and repeat. They find him. I'm gonna head out.
That man is the patron saint of shitty dads. Like,
I'm gonna go down to get a carton of milk. Bye.
here's some bees. It's just so. I mean, that's for me the only thing that bottlenecked it. Even then, like Kagura, like the I forget exactly how he made his little like family, but like clones, but like he just like cut off like a finger and that became them or whatever. But like she had the Hatsu Sesshomaru, which is kind of cool because like he's all stoic and blah, but like you could tell there was a little bit of stuff in there. You would have like Mr. God, I don't even remember what his name is. I just remember what his sword was, like Bankatsu. He had like a huge fucking buster blade. And the entire thing around him was that he was like a demon slayer and the sword like destroyed like or killed over 100 demons or something. And I was like, oh, that's badass. If it was just more of that, like cut out the need for Naraku to be like this imposing thing over it, but they still had to deal with all this other shit. Or hell, they built it up for so many like lore episodes that the Shikon Jewel, it was actually like kind of almost like a like a ceiling prison for this huge evil dragon and this super warrior princess. And they didn't really expand on that. I thought for sure that was foreshadowing that like super stupid strong demon would eventually come out, and then that would be like the real antagonist. Of course not, because that would be cool and satisfying. if I see more stuff like that in this one, I I will be pleasantly surprised. Just so long as I don't see that fucking bug baboon coat man, I will give this a shot.
Yo, what are like the characters gonna like? What in the world do they have to do? Like, there's no like
I mean, it's the
like
time.
what is left for any character in that universe to do?
Well, see, the thing is, that world just has like there's no like innate structure to it, right? But you have little hints of like lore here and there. You could really just do whatever. I mean, there was all like the what was it, the dog and cat demon wolf war. I don't even remember because it's been so long. But there was like entire demon wars before Inuyasha was even born, and like you have things like that super stupid strong demon inside of the Shikon jewel. You have little tinges of interesting lore here and there, but it's all bottlenecked by this one fucking baboon. Like, and I don't understand why every single time he comes up dressed as a baboon. It it has to be like an ego thing, but at that point, why even disguise yourself? Like, why not just go as an old man? Do you need to be like dressed as like old man baboon man? I don't. And I gotta say, this is completely in the opposite of how I feel about Boruto, and it's because Inuyasha, I felt like there was a lot of like wasted potential there. I felt like there was a lot of really cool elements, like I mentioned before, that I actually got a kick out of, and it took me like kind of shutting off the part of my brain that knew that Naraki was just going to fly off and we're just going to continue for another 800 chapters to like actually like enjoy it. But when I turned that off, I was able to enjoy it.
So,
But then Boruto, I don't care. I don't care about anything in the background. Every single time I go, like, Kaguya-hime was enough of a stupid plot twist for me. That was enough. And then to know that everything after that, Naruto the Last, Boruto, all that just builds off of that, which is one of the worst fucking moments in that entire series. Just that it's like, hey, here's giant enemy evil space tick. Are you like Final Fantasy last villain who you haven't fucking seen, but it's death or the angel or god or whatever? There you go. That's the bad guy, even though we didn't have any dramatic tension or build up leading up to this. I tried desperately to even like just read summaries of what's going on.
the ending of Naruto and also Boruto entirely just feels entirely like just a giant bra moment. Like, I can't, like, it baffles me. It baffles like how that, because like I like Naruto, like the ending, just this at last second they were
Wait,
just like just yeet the whole, like I feel like the past like
go, like
volumes I
be
read were
specific.
pointless.
Be specific, because like it felt like it could have ended like three different times there.
There's like three different villains, and then they're like yeet, just yeet them all out of existence, and then just bring a new one. And why would you bring out? You had like multiple options of final bad guys, right? That have been sewn in throughout the entire series. And instead of choosing any of those three, or probably more at this rate, right?
I'd say at least four.
Yeah,
arguably five, but definitely four.
Instead of choosing any of the ones that are even remotely reasonable, let's drop in a new one and make all the other ones completely irrelevant.
And somehow it was this grand master orchestrated plan, which, by the way, fucking impossible, because none of these you could not have like anticipated that Madara was going to die, and then someone would randomly resurrect him, and then Madara would like undo his shackles or whatever, and then also that Itachi made a bird before he died, and then Naruto ate the bird. It's so many convenient moments that it's just so
it's ridiculous. It's
like
the only word to think of it is ridiculous.
It clearly is just like, let's just keep going. More chapters, just go.
It's just like sitting under a cow and just continuously milking it.
There was like, I lost count at how many fucking power ups there were near the end of the series, and then I go and find out that there's even more super power ups in Naruto the Last, where it's like, oh yeah, you take out fucking Byakugan and then like an Otsutsuki clan member, which are basically just the angels from Evangelion,
I
as
went
I
and saw
understand it.
I saw that movie in theaters, and it was so like, what is happening? Because like I just couldn't wrap my mind around the fact that they managed to shove more random shit in that like I don't remember any of it. Like I'll see clips of it now, and I'm like, I didn't I see that before? Like, and I'm like, wait, I went and saw that in theaters. Like it just shook my mind, bro. Like I feel like my brain shrank watching it.
And I know that sounds kind of weird because it almost seems like, oh, so there's more to explore in Naruto, so that like it should, then that would justify there being a sequel, like
But
explore more stuff.
It's not.
But it's not.
It's not real. Like it's all just like fake padded shit on at the end. So it's like I don't feel satisfied exploring all this because it wasn't there to begin with. It was just like randomly thrown on at the end.
Exactly, and that's exactly how Naruto felt. I want to say like at the very least halfway through, like through Shippuden, if not earlier. That was like a major turnoff point for me. I still read it because at that point I'm invested. Like I'm 500 chapters in. I'm here for the long run. You know,
Yeah,
like
that's how I
come
got it.
there.
I got there to like when the last Great Ninja War or whatever. Like when that arc started, I was like, well, I really don't care anymore, even though I love Naruto, but I have to finish it now.
You can't not, like you're almost there to the end. You have to see how it ended, which is why I was like, cool, this ended, done. They're like, Naruto the Last, fuck you. Boruto, fuck you. I don't care. Nope, I did my time.
Do you know there's a arc in Boruto, and there's like a card game. There's like a card game Boruto.
What?
They played card games in Boruto.
I People choose this. I it's I love a world that has like, you know, stuff to explore. It's exactly like how you said though. It feels like stuff just keeps getting like tacked on top last minute, so none of it feels rewarding. None of it, like it's not like where like the Uchiha scrolls that you could only read with the Mangekyo Sharingan. Like that was hinted at way early in Naruto, and you know there was some fucked up shit on there because like everybody who read them like either died or became a war criminal. Like so you kept being like, what's in there? Like what is it? What is it? You know?
Yeah.
Toby, which by the way, did you
I
know
still
that was a surprise that it was Obito? Like
I still don't get it. I don't get the whole Obito thing at this point, or like the Toby thing, because like why would then if you think of it like if you think of it like retroactively, right? I guess like okay, so now we know that it was Toby was Obito, right? Why would he choose to act like a like how Toby did throughout this entire time, just be like a fuckhead? Like
I mean,
if he's that serious of a character, like why would he then for act like that the whole way up? And how have no one ever like even like remotely like slightly caught on or something? Like it only makes sense if you start off with he was a goofball character and you're like, wait, what if we did this? And it doesn't make sense if you think of it going backwards. It only makes sense if you like halfway through he was like, oh wait, wouldn't that be fucking Galaxy Brand?
Also, why even do that at that point? Like I'm trying to think back to like when he went on a mission to get one of the tailed beasts, and I'm pretty sure he didn't actually do shit. I'm pretty sure and it was like the water one that was stupid and couldn't even use its power or something. So really there was no point in him doing anything. He could have just stayed in the shadows and just like stayed. None of it makes sense. None of it makes sense.
It doesn't make sense.
If anything, I might say that they tried to cram so much shit in there that I spent years playing like online roleplay forum games with like Naruto, and so like we all freaking like did an entire database of every single jutsu used, every single like PowerPoint like stat type thing that they ever mentioned. So well versed in all the lingo. The thing is, me just looking over a summary of Boruto and Naruto the Last made me fucking cross-eyed with how much more shit there is. It feels like y'all are doing too much. And Naruto and Inuyasha was like, y'all really could have gone like at least a little bit harder. There is like too much world building in Naruto to the point where it's just it they've they have angels, man. They go planet to planet, plant a tree, suck on the world, eat it. It's uh, it's too much. When it gets to the point where like oh my god, it did a DBZ. I just realized they're aliens. Why are they strong? Why do they have powers? Aliens. Oh, yo. Do you think like there's a sector in a universe somewhere where like the Otsutsuki clan is like also like just like another race like the Saiyans or like the Namekians or some shit?
I hate this. I hate everything we're discussing right now.
listen.
I never
Kagina versus Frieza. Who wins?
I've never wanted my Naruto universe to have an alien discussion in it.
Yeah, well, that's where we are now. That is exactly where we are.
We live in a fucked up timeline. I don't like this.
We live in the worst timeline, arguably. And I guess there's where was it? I forget where I saw the quote. So shout outs to whoever made this quote. I don't even know if you're alive or still. I hope you are, but it basically amounts to like people wind up gravitating towards nostalgia because they're afraid to move forward, and that's kind of how I look at this. Like
I see that point, but then I also kind of feel like it's not that they're like afraid to move forward. Is that there's like almost nothing to move forward to at this point. Like what do you do now? What do you do now? Like and that's why everything now really is like rinse and repeat. It's like where do you go? What is there to do that like
change? I disagree. Only because, and it's not to say that these are the be all end alls, but like they're the other anime that are like really popular now that aren't just continuations of older franchises tend to buck the trend. Stuff like My Hero Academia, Dr. Stone, Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan. The thing is like people aren't used to that format, so I think like they're like, oh, this is different, and they don't immediately get into it.
How does Boku no Hero buck the trend? Because it really seems like a Naruto.
No, it's not. The character dynamics are different. It's not a protagonist who is like like all what's it called? Effort plus heart equals victory type of thing. Not a goofy type of thing. He honestly is kind of part of a new trend, which is like the crybaby protagonist, because you see that in Demon Slayer too, where there's like
no. Have we ever talked about Shinji?
No, I don't know about crybaby. Well, okay, he did do a lot of crying, but like he wasn't a shonen protagonist. You didn't see that in shonens a whole lot. It was very implicitly like power fantasy, like Goku. I mean, Luffy, Naruto. Like you see it, you know.
Okay, so, I get the point.
So there's a little bit more of that, and then there's also a little bit more of actual character interaction and people like bouncing off of each other as a way of making this story interesting, instead of it just being kind of like a vehicle for power-ups to go in between like the protagonists and the antagonists.
I have to say, I have to give Dr. Stone a lot of credit for like it's really different. Like I like it.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say I'm gonna sit here and be like, oh wow, I'm a big Dr. Stone fan, but I like the fact that it was successful and it did something so different.
Like I had my fingers crossed the entire time, and I'm so happy for it.
I remember when it first came out, I was like, when I was in Japan, I just picked up the Jump magazine. It was like the first chapter events, and I skimmed through. I was like, wow, this is like. I was like kind of really surprised how different it seemed to be, right? Because it was like right after all the big three kind of like really stopped being like main powerhouses and Jump. I mean, One Piece still is obviously, but
One Piece will never die.
yeah, it's incredible. So like, shout out to Dr. Stone. I really appreciate that. Like, it's something like it did it. It kind of did it. Another thing. I have never read Demon Slayer. I know nothing about it. Do I? Mm-hmm. Should I dabble?
Yeah, I just like started kind of like dipping my toes in. I read like just like random pages here and there, but it seems pretty solid. I'm so jaded like towards, real good waifu bait in there. So
I'm so jaded towards new manga that like I was like I Jump, And I was
Well,
like, no,
see, that's
I can't do it. I can't do it. But then it's gone so successful and like so popular that I was like, there has to be at least something to this, right? I feel like I just
mhm.
have to.
See, that's what I mean. It's like there's that. There's, I mean, it's like how you said after like the Power 3 kind of fizzled out to just like the Power 1, it really did leave like this gaping hole, which is just like, what do we do now? Where do we go? And then, a lot of it winds up being kind of mediocre stuff. Like, I don't, whatever. I've never given the series a chance, but I can't help but feel like there was a massive effort, but from Jump's perspective, to try and push Toriko as being
Oh
like
my
another
god.
the big, and nobody got to it. Like it just did not
It wasn't
take.
good. It wasn't good. They just tried forcing it down our throats. It wasn't good.
They tried so hard. So then when you see things like that, you kind of lose faith as much as like, okay, they're just trying to like pitch us literally anything because they are desperate because their cash cows ended and they don't know what the
And
fuck to do
Trump was
next.
a power force, man. Now they got like there's like a big void there now. Like even with these like the Doctor Stones and My Hero and stuff, like it's not as for like it's not as filled. There's a lot of non-jump manga that's like really good recently. I read started reading um oh my god, what's it called? Don't Bully Me Nagatoro.
Is that one where it's kind of like a drama manga, but like they're bullying each other or something like that, or like the guy's getting bullied by a girl?
Yeah, it's like the girl just like picks on him. It's like a cute little shoujo manga. It's
That's it. Yeah,
fire. It's fire. Not only because I want a waifu like Nagatoro, it's just fire. It's
you
fire.
would. I think it's. I like the fact that we're getting new stuff. I think it definitely is that there is a certain group that you know what you come for. You come for like the shonen stuff. You come for like the style of manga that you grew up with. So when new stuff goes in there, you don't immediately attach to it, which means that Jump's probably not going to wind up pushing things that don't go in that direction. So I mean, honestly, to that extent, I appreciate like Jump actually like giving other kinds of series a chance or like getting a little bit different in there. Because at
Speaking of,
this point, oh, sorry,
keep
go ahead.
going. No, keep going. I'm gonna
I was gonna
switch
say,
subjects, so keep going.
okay, I was gonna say at this point in terms of shonen, like we have, I feel like we've kind of exhausted the whole battle shonen power escalation thing. It's we can't just have like new power, new level, new power, like that kind of thing. There has to be something else to it because at this point we've seen so many. It's
It's
tired.
juiced. It's so juiced. I don't think I could ever read another manga like that ever again. I'm so like done with it.
Like the only reason I'll watch and enjoy Dragon Ball Super is because I literally turn my brain off and I know what I'm here for. I'm just here for fights. That is the only reason.
All right. So what I was gonna say, speaking on this like revival of old series, the cash cow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also going off of Jump desperately looking for something to fill that void. I don't know if we should really get into this, but can you imagine how I'm gonna go with the word how butt blasted they probably were about the Rurouni Kenshin reboot having to be canceled? Because that shit was good. That was like 4 chapters in. It was like good.
Yeah, no, that series is radioactive.
Yo, the movies have been remade and everything. They're coming out next year. It got canceled because of Corona, but they're coming out next year. And they're coming to the final 2 movies, but like they put
it's an entire series.
Yeah, they have the first 3 live action movies, and they're finishing it off with the final 2. And that shit was put on that back burner, like, nah, I ain't touching that, right? But it's finally come to the point that they're like, okay, here it is, and then they had to postpone it the next year, which I'm kind of upset about.
How long do you think it's going to take for the blog spots to like cancel Rurouni Kenshin?
Negative a year and a half ago.
I'm amazed people aren't talking about it right now. Like it's arguably the R. Kelly of anime. Even though like it wasn't like that bad, it's still like some fucking.
Everyone forgot about it, right? And then they announced the new Rurouni Kenshin movies. They gave like a really, really tiny little teaser trailer, right? No actual trailer, and they went, you know what? We're gonna postpone this a little longer, so it's not coming out the next year.
Did Crunchyroll have a hand in that at all?
No.
I wonder if it's Crunchyroll or Funimation. One of them's gonna get their ass lit up. I don't know who had the balls.
Funimation has the rights for it in the U.S. release, but it's a completely Japanese run thing with like Warner Brothers Japan and stuff.
Oh yeah, doesn't matter. By association, they're gonna get their ass lit up.
Yeah, I was really. It was actually kind of hard to find the Blu-rays I got for those the other day from Funimation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is like, it's a series that's, I guess I would say, like, from our generation or more from our generation. So like there probably wouldn't be a whole lot of interest, especially since, I mean, it's live action.
Are you trying
And
to
we've
tell us
seen how live action anime
those ones are
movies
so
do.
good? They're so good though. These are like the best live action movies.
Oh no, they are. Oh no, these movies are inarguably godlike. Like, it took me like 1 minute into the intro of the first movie to be like, oh yep, this one wins. All the other ones can go home. That's it. This has proven to be the exception to the case, where everything else is either garbage or like hilariously bad. Honestly, I wonder, and I have this sneaking suspicion why that is. It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's closer to just like, it's the most Japanese thing ever. Like, it's just like, it has that traditional Japanese aesthetic, very like historical. So I wonder if there's like more of like a sense of care and like love when they made that. I don't know. It just felt more involved. Like, it felt like people were constantly having their hand on it, and like there was a couple different drafts and edits done to make sure it was good. Whereas like you can tell with a lot of other ones, it's just like, yeah, whatever, push it through. It's good.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Um, and I did, like, this is kind of like in a kind of veering off course, but like still kind of on the course. I guess like the Tezuka 100th anniversary manga contest started. Might be over by the time this goes up. Who knows? But it was really interesting because our entire discussion of just old series getting pushed up again to like, because it's safe. I mean, there's a fan base, so it's just from a business perspective. Why would you bother trying to gain a new customer base when there's already one out there, right? And this is where I got to give it to my guy Oda, because I mean they had a bunch of different quotes from different mangaka, but this is the one that really spoke to me when he said, "If the story you want to draw is similar to something that is already popular, find something else to draw. I prefer to read a manga that is bad, but something only you can draw, more than something good, but similar to another's artist's work. Just try." And I can't tell you how much that resonated, because, that's how we got One Punch Man.
Yeah, I think with manga, it's almost like a contradiction with the corporations behind it, because manga, it's like the ultimate, such as like an art form. It's like the
manga's
ultimate,
so much more based than anime. Can we just say that?
I almost don't watch anime anymore, to be honest with you. I almost read it. Like, if it has a manga, which most of the time it's going to have a manga, I just read the manga. With manga,
it's so weird. I used to be the opposite way, but now like that's how I'm going.
Yeah, with the manga, since it's like an art form, it's like the ultimate gamble, right? Because like for like a truly good manga, it has to be different, and for something to be so different now, when you have to like put all the like the publications and stuff behind it, it's the ultimate financial gamble.
Yeah.
And so like I would imagine all the like editors and stuff want something that's already been proven to work, because that's safe investment. But you're never going to really have that next big hit unless you just take the big gamble on something different.
I mean, I got another take on that. And that's that when you're making an anime, you have like how many people involved with the process, and like how many people's approval do you have to get. But technically, like if you're just you, and like say you just have a side project or whatever, which is how a lot of series wind up getting accidentally greenlit, is they'll just like have a webcomic or a web page or a blog, and they'll just post pages up. You don't have to answer to fucking anybody. You can do it yourself.
Yeah, that's how Nagatoro was. If I read it, it was originally like a what is it called, Pixiv webcomic, and then it got really popular and someone greenlit it.
Yeah, it's kind of like, but I mean, in that vein, I mean, because it has a following already, that really does fulfill those requirements from a business perspective of like, oh, we know this will go because there's people who like it. Huh. But that's still like why I fucking love manga is because you don't have to worry about like, oh, what are the censors going to think about this? Oh, what time slot are they going to put this on where like they might not even give a fuck? Oh, just writing about like wild shit like everything that Asano Inio has ever done pretty
Yeah, I was
much.
just thinking about him. I was just thinking because your and I's favorite manga is Oyasumi Punpun, and that's something that could
The
never be made
goats.
into an
The
anime.
goats. If it ever honestly the massive like cancerous hipster part of my brain says never, never. I do not want this soiled by the dirty masses. Like get it the fuck away
And
from them.
I'm sure in theory someone could try to make it an anime, but it'd be not accurate to the story at all because you'd have to just so much of it. I feel like they wouldn't put it in the anime because of like like logistic and also like controversial reasons. I guess for
It
like
would be
like
really interesting.
yeah, you have to jump through so many hoops to be able to get something to be made into an anime, and there's no way I can't ever imagine a world in which the Oyasumi Punpun manga could be perfectly adapted into an anime and it'd be like the same way as it was before.
It's so interesting to think about that because it's like also like what fucking director could even handle that? Like there's so many points where it's like from one page flip to another is so different, and there's like also like all like the crazy shit in the background. Like honestly, I feel like if you're a manga artist, yo, like you should go ham or something. I don't know. Like I know like there's probably a large. Well, I wouldn't even say probably. I know that, but there definitely has to have some sizable community who, when they start off on a manga, they probably like think like, oh, hey, maybe this will be an anime or something. But like, yo, to the ones who don't, I honestly feel like if you just go for like what you're doing, in Oda's words, just like do something different, even if it's not like solid or anything. Because the One Punch Man manga originally looked like shit, but it didn't matter because it was still fun as hell. Like I would love to see more things like that in anime because right now I'm just getting it from manga. I'm not getting like chances being taken on anime because, well, I mean, it's a corporate business, right? They got to make money, that kind of shit. But you know.
Another story that I know so many people that refuse to even get into it because of the artwork, even though the story is so fire, is Kaiji.
Kaiji and Akagi.
I
And
well, yeah,
he has like another series, I think.
I
But
kind of
yeah.
think of them collectively in my head, but there's
Oh
so
yeah.
many people I know that are like, you would love this, and they tell me, no, that man has a triangle nose. And I'm like, I give up. I give up.
Yo, listen, I need to tell you. Have you ever seen Uncut Gems?
No.
Okay. I cannot tell you how fucking stressed I was watching that entire movie. And I was like, where have I felt it? Like, this is a familiar feeling, but like, I've never gotten this from a movie. What the fuck is this feeling? And I thought about it. I'm like, oh my God. This is like when Kaiji is butt ass naked and he's having to like finesse his way back into a game. And he's just like, but like afterwards he fucks up another like game and he like keeps going up and down. You're just like, oh God, why are you doing this? Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. Why? It's that kind of stress that I fucking love. And that, God, I could talk about Kaiji and the Akagi like for hours.
It's
Like,
so good. Oh, oh fuck. There's this. Uh, I feel like I had to have had this discussion with you because I don't know who else I would have had this discussion with. But there's
what?
this Chinese movie, and someone tried to describe it to me, right? Like the plot, and I was like, bro, that's fucking kaiji. It has the whole. It's literally people go gambling on a boat and they do almost the exact same type of games. I was like, I wish so bad. Like if someone knows in the comments, please put in this comments. It was someone was trying to describe it to me this Chinese movie, and I was like,
Huh.
bruv, that's just kaiji.
That sounds like China's treatment of intellectual property. I mean, it sounds about right. I can't tell you. I swear at some cons at some point I either saw this or saw somebody upload like a scheduling where they had a panel and did modified rock paper scissors.
That's awesome.
I don't know how they finagled it, but God, that would be an amazing hour. I would love that so much.
Yeah, we got to do it. We should do a panel of that.
Let's do it.
All right.
Done.
All right.
Done fucking deal.
It's not next year.
Woo wee. All right, so let's go into something else. Generally manga related. Um, so the Pokemon Adventures mangaka used the characters in the manga, so to speak. Like, so what happened is there was this entire issue going on in the Japanese Parliament about like retirement ages, and the issue was that they were trying to extend the range of time that one could be in Parliament and keep their seat. Like, so basically, they were voting to keep themselves in power for a couple more years. The thing is, this is at the same time while they're trying to pass COVID acts and shit like that, things that like help the public and make sure people are taken care of and all that. So everybody started fucking laying into it. Like there were so many things on social media. Kyari Pramu Pyamu tweeted. Tons of Seiyu were tweeting, and then the Pokemon Adventures mangaka actually drew out like a page with his characters and everything, basically saying that this would, basically support being in protest of this act that would give the politicians more power during like a stressed moment. And it turned into this entire shitstorm of like people are like why would you use your characters to make political statements and all like that, right?
Yeah.
And I'm torn because I mean it's at this point in this day and age it's pretty much impossible to get away from politics. Like it's all around us, and it'd be lying to say that in some way financially or directly that like what happens in the world doesn't directly affect our media. But at the same time, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes there's a lot of series, a lot of media that I look to as just like it's assaulting, not assaulting, but like it's exhausting sometimes to inundate yourself with political messages and things like that. And for it to be Pokemon, I don't know, because it's not like the Pokemon manga doesn't have like a whole lot of dark shit in there with people dying and everything. But at the same time, I don't know how I'd feel. I would, because on one hand, people argue like, oh, this is propaganda. On another hand, I mean, like, people are entitled to have their opinion too, right?
Yeah.
So I'm conflicted, dude.
I feel it's kind of the same way you do. Because like on one hand, I feel like the mangaka should be able to like express what they feel through their manga how they want. I mean, obviously there's logistics of publishers and stuff. Like nothing ever fully works out the way I ideally should be, right? But on the other hand, the fact that it's an IP like Pokemon for like that's like oriented like around kids, like for the most part. Like I don't like maybe I'm wrong, and in Japan like people just really like reading Pokemon Adventures like as like a fun like little like a pick me up kind of thing, right? But I feel like the demographic is for younger audiences, and I kind of feel that's kind of weird. Just like maybe there's a wrong word to choose, but shoehorn the political police into something for like the little kids.
It is kind of weird, but at the same time, and this is always the complicated thing with things like Pokemon, is that you're right. There is like a clear audience that is primarily young people, but at the same time, I would really love to see what the statistics are of people who are now older who grew up with Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
Because that's still the same mangaka from back then. Same person. So if you extend that out, it's kind of like this thing was originally like it was for children, and now the people watching it say they've kept up with it throughout the years. Now they're older. So this is kind of like a stretch, but it kind of reminds me of like how PewDiePie's kind of like progressed over the years. Like it initially started for a much younger base, but like now a large portion of the fan base is a bit older. So it wouldn't be weird to listen about and talk about like certain things like financial literacy or even like in small part, like some little things about politics here and there, right?
Yeah, I get the point, but then at the same time, like I'm just kind of playing devil's advocate here.
I'll go for it.
Like PewDiePie doesn't have a publisher that like specifically like promotes towards a certain like demographic. Do you know what I mean? Like
Right.
he's just him, and he can choose
Yeah.
to do whatever he wants, right? But
Mm-hmm.
like something like a manga, right? If something like that that's self produced, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
of course the publisher's gonna advertise that manga to a certain demographic, and I can't imagine
Mm-hmm.
that they're pushing Pokemon Adventures to an older demographic. Do we know what, if at all? I assume it is what manga magazine it's published in.
No, I'm not entirely sure,
Um,
honestly.
all right,
Like I read
I'm
like
going to do some magic on the fly if you want to go on a rant.
no, yeah, yeah. That see, and I understand that completely because like when you're a part of like a larger corporation in a professional sense like that, you absolutely do have to consider like that it's not just you, you're part you're I don't want to say like just a peon or a drone, but like you are essentially a cog in the machine, right? But and I try to mean that in a not as anti-establishmentarian kind of way as possible, but it basically is kind of like other people other people's paychecks also depend on what you do. So if you shit the bed, that means that you might be taking food out of their kids' mouths. So it is important to think about that stuff, at least like when you have business deals like that. To another extent though, I also kind of wonder like does so that's definitely like the professional end of it where it's like you should at least I don't know, like talk to somebody around you. Even though I don't know, that almost also kind of sounds a little skeevy just because like it feels almost like censorship. But it's not like censorship to like and for the government, it's like, hey, I have these people around me who I have relationships with. I don't want to fuck shit up for them, you know? Oh, sorry, you were gonna say something?
Okay. So I found it's published in Kodo Kodo Ichiban, and its category is for elementary school boys.
I mean, yeah,
And they have a division. They have a division specifically for older audiences in which this isn't published in.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. God, that's such a weird thing, though. You'd almost think like that at this point there'd be like some sort of like Pokemon seinen manga.
Oh, that's a that's a that'd be cool. Like
I
I feel
mean,
like
like
that like
there's
that
a couple like there's a couple chapters that make you kind of feel like it, like when like Charmeleon just straight up like guts an Arbok in the first couple chapters, but
I feel like that
yeah,
would ruin the IP though, because like it's so like,
Charmeleon cutting an Arbok in half.
no.
That's chapter one, my guy.
All right, I can't exactly sit here and say that I'm a Pokemon expert. I'm more of a Yu-Gi-Oh kind of guy.
I mean, it's like it's you also got to consider. I mean, like they also don't have a problem with like drawing like little wings for like Goku and shit because like they're not they don't have as much of a problem with a lot of shit like nudity and all that. Really, the biggest thing they have a problem with it seems to be like actual like clitori, nipples, and drugs, pretty much.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
Like everything else seems to be like I mean like hey what's it called Berserk, there you go. I forget what the actual thing was called. um oh my god, I'm a horrible Berserk fan. The thing with the egg and the hay, I sacrificed that shit.
The Behelit.
Yeah, what's the actual act of it called, like when you're like hey fuck y'all?
Sacrifice.
Was that what it's called?
I
don't know.
Oh, like he sacrifices with the Behelit, right? Did they have a term for it?
I thought there was. I could have sworn there was. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a long time. Like I waited until they got off the fucking boat, and they finally got off the boat, and they went to Dream World, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna chill for like 5 years, and then I'll come back, and there'll be like at least I want to say like 10 chapters that I could read, hopefully, and like yeah, but almost also I mean Berserk Seinen manga, so different, but I don't know. It was just interesting to me because it's like I very rarely see mangaka like actually be or say like a whole like anything really politically related. Japan's culture is super like don't rock the boat. So just the fact that this came up at all was so surprising.
Yeah, it's definitely something that like piqued my ears a little bit when I was like scrolling through Twitter, and I'm like, you see it once, so I'm like, okay, and then you see it like a second time and like a third time, like this is unusual. This is very unusual that this is something that like ended up being a discussion point.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like obviously, like I mean, also from another standpoint, the exact connotations of it, obviously, I'm not gonna know because I don't live in Japan, and I'm not gonna like pretend like I know like the culture 100%. But it is interesting, at least for any other like standpoint. Then it is a very much like don't fuck with authority kind of culture that predominates a lot of Japanese subgroups. So to hear that, wow, okay. I mean, it's interesting if nothing else. Um, Going along in the whole COVID related things, I thought it was interesting that Japan's anime internet distribution market wound up overtaking the home video market. I'm not gonna lie, there was a very happy portion of me just because anime DVD anime DVDs and Blu-rays, like if they retain their value, could arguably be a better store of wealth than actual gold.
God, they gouge so bad on those things. You see
They
how expensive
juice you, God.
they get juice so bad. Oh my god, dude! Like did you see how much the Evangelion Blu-ray remastered is?
Which one?
The newest
That
one.
this
The
I
one
don't know. They've had 20 of them.
The Japanese get like 20 of them. We get about 0 of them. But like the newest remastered one is
I'm scared to ask. Wait. What's in it? What's in it first?
I believe it's the 26 episodes and the end of Evangelion.
That's it. So you don't even get rebuild.
No rebuilds.
Is it gonna have like a fucking diamond studded like steel bookcase or anything like that?
Off the top of my head, I don't believe so. I had like a cool kind of like that, like the like blue clear plastic kind of vibe. If you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Like it kind of had like it had like a Ramiel color to it.
Oh. Yo, okay. Listen. Well, okay, you tell me how much it is, and then I'll like express the idea.
All right. You know, I'm going off what it was around 200. It was about 200 when I remembered.
I'm surprised because that actually sounds reasonable, depending on how the case is. And I will say this: if they ever came out with one that had like a Ramiel shaped case for all like the discs and everything, that I would consider allowing myself to get juice to the pulp for that.
I'm pretty sure it's just a blue box though.
Lame. But see, and that's why I will never ever like respect the idea of like, oh, you love this anime, buy the Blu-ray. Fuck you. Actually, fuck you. I am not allowing myself to get gouged like $200 for a complete series. No, I will buy. I will straight up pirate this series. But
Allegedly,
I'm telling you right now,
allegedly pirate the series.
theoretically speaking, I would much rather pirate the series and then just buy the same amount of merchandise in waifu figures and fucking hugging pillows. I would much rather prefer that because at least I get something out of it.
Yo, I'm not gonna. As I turn around and look at my waifu figure, I'm gonna tell you I 100% agree.
Or if like I would consider it too if there was a figure like included with it, or if hell, like I said before, if there was a cool ass case for it, like a Ramiel shaped case for an Evangelion collection. Oh, absolutely! I'm getting juice for that because I'm a huge fucking fanboy, and it looks cool. Come on.
Do you remember when Naruto first got released in box sets here? They would include all the shit with it. That shit was fire. They actually had some cool shit with it.
Didn't. Nope, sure didn't, because I watched that all in Japanese. What did it come with though?
Like the first one came, like a lot of them came with like like little jewelry or like the really nice headbands have like the shitty like tinfoily ones, like the hard like steel ones,
Oh,
or like
yo, that's such a
it came with like some like actually like quality cool stuff.
oh. See, even things like that, even if it's just like a little thing, but like it looks reasonably nice, that would still give me an excuse to be like,
Oh, and they
oh,
also
well,
came
it comes with the shit.
they came in these like really nice quality like bags that had the village symbols on them. I still have them. Like next time
Oh,
I see
that's
you, I have to
dope.
try to
That's
remember. There's
dope.
like I have the Leaf Village bag, the Sound Village bag, and the Sand Village bag. And they're like
Oh,
little
that's
bags, and
dope.
they'd put like the whatever special like a headband or like the little bracelet or whatever like inside of it. It was really cool actually.
See, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Make me feel like I got my money's worth. I don't care if it really only costs $2 to make. Man, at least sweet talk me before you just fucking mug me. Please. Just make me feel a little nice before you do it.
Yeah, buy me some
So,
dinner first.
like, yeah. And so to hear that the internet distribution market is overtaking the home video market, it really has me hoping, because it's not like weebs won't buy stupid shit. I have bought so much stupid shit in my life. I have a Celti helmet shaped mug just sitting off to the side of me right now, and I literally just use it to store sticky notes that I will eventually get to someday. That is why I bought it. It costs like maybe like $30, probably more of that with shipping, but it was neat. And I'm sure it cost like maybe $5 at most to make. I just like you. It's so antithetical to have your product, the core product, the series, and everything behind such a high paywall, when that's advertising right there. Once you get somebody like pretty much indoctrinated into a series, they will buy the stupidest shit. I cannot tell you how much money I've spent on Tsukihime figures, because I've literally lost count.
God, I love stupid shit. I thrive
It's
on stupid
amazing.
shit.
Like and it's not like I don't want to support them. I do. It's just like, come on, man.
Don't juice me dry for it.
Like, you're getting my money. You're getting my money. At least like give me the show. Okay, cool. Release like 5 different special edition whatever the hells. Put them on pre-order. Yeah, I'm buying like 3 of each.
Did you ever pick up the G Gundam special edition?
God, no.
God, I want it so bad. I regret not buying it.
No, I got my oh god, what's that series called of Gunpla? They're like is it Master series or something like that?
Master Grids?
Master Grades, yeah. I got my Master Grade God Gundam, and I'm like, oh, I'm cool. That's cool. I'm good
I
with
need
that.
to build that. I have a bunch of like G Gundam like vintage ones from Japan.
Sick.
I haven't built them, and like I've had them for like 2 years now. I really need to build them, and I don't know why I haven't built them because I like building Gunpla. Actually, I do know.
Dude.
I don't have time, but like
Dog,
I love,
do it on Twitch.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I might have to do that. That's
And
a really good idea. Wow.
Build it,
like
and then like
really
answer like
idea.
Q&As and shit. I'm telling you.
I'm
telling you.
Galaxy brain idea, dude. Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't think of that.
Bro, play a fucking D's. I'm the Galaxy Master here. Come on now.
Yeah, because I've been streaming a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh, but like I was like, what else am I gonna do, right? Because I don't really want to stream Call of Duty or anything. Like this is why I just do my free time, just like to dick around, right? That's Galaxy brain idea.
And you just do it there, and you can like extend into like meme builds, into like cool like battle scarred stuff, and it'll give you a perfect reason to spend the time on it, because it's like a cathartic thing to watch too.
Yeah, so I thought about the G Gundam Blu-ray thing because we were talking about we love stupid shit, right? Do you know what it came with? Do you know what it came with?
What?
It came with a fucking Tequila Gundam shot glass, and it came
Of course it did.
It came with the Domon headband.
Oh, that's hard.
I know, it's crazy. It's so crazy, dude. I can't believe
I'm hopping on eBay.
I'm doing. I wish I was joking. I'm doing the same thing right now.
Oh my god!
It's one of my deepest regrets is not buying this thing. When it was up for pre-order, and all my friends were like, "Dude, you have to buy this." I was like, "No, I can't. I can't buy this. I regret it so bad." I remember it was astronomically expensive, and I was like, "I can't do this." But then that Tequila Gundam shot glass.
I can't tell you how many times I've had to like walk myself away from buying some really stupidly overpriced shit. and like knowing full well it's they're only making them for the amount of pre-orders they get. So I'm never getting it, but it's just like, John, you're never getting it. John, it's $500. Fucking stop.
There's only a few on eBay, and they're like $250.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
And there's one that's 160, but it says missing shot glass, which defeats the purpose of me wanting.
Ah, bullshit.
My man's bought this, cracked open the that's my tequila gun and shot glass. Sealed it back up. eBay time.
Oh my god. Okay. Going forward. So everything's just pretty much turned virtual at this point. Well, I mean, at the point where we started drawing stuff up and thinking about what to talk about, everything had pretty much, in terms of like conventions and mass gathering events, it pretty much just transitioned to either an all virtual event or some sort of facsimile of it. Who knows if that's actually going to go through? Because it seems like a lot of countries are starting to like lax on their restrictions, and cases are going down despite that. So, virus defeated, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. But at this point,
mission accomplished, guys. We canceled COVID-19. It's been canceled. It's over.
I swear to God. Listen, there's so many people just going around each other. And I swear to God, if we don't see like a million cases, not that I want people to get sick, but like I'm going to lose a whole lot of faith in a lot of people if shit don't hit the fan.
Yeah,
just because that's what they've been telling us, not because that's what I want, but because that's what we were told, and that's why we were all freaking the fuck out and bathing in hand sanitizer daily.
Well, you see, you don't understand. All the hillbillies in our town, they told me it's not real, so it's canceled. You don't seem to understand that. Yeah, it don't exist. I'm not wearing my ass mask. It's over. Canceled. We canceled everyone. American Twitter, we canceled it. Congratulations. Yeehaw. Yeehaw, boys. It's canceled. It ain't real.
Dog, it might be. It might not be. That's the worst part.
Dude, it definitely... Of all the Chinese people that I know and interact with and stuff, there's no way it's not. It has
to be real, but at the same time, you're just, like... You see like people just roaming around fucking Memorial Day weekend, and there's just like the beaches in Florida just packed with people, and you're just like, all right, so either we beat COVID or everyone's gonna die. It's one of the two. It's nowhere in between.
I disagree. All
right. You know what? Go. Please explain.
Okay, so, oh God! Okay, no, listen. Shut up. Breathe. So it's definitely a real thing, and we did the right thing by taking it as seriously as possible, or else we would have turned into Asia, right, or like China. But because we took it seriously, right, there isn't that much of it, and because there isn't that much of it, everyone's like, oh, it's not real, it's fake, and like, do you understand my point?
No, yeah. It's like there's a word for that, but it's basically like if you do your job right, nobody notices.
Yeah, we beat it before it got serious, so no one thinks it ever existed because stupid American hillbillies. I'm gonna say it. Cancel it. Tweet me on Twitter. I'll put it in the description. You can flag me. I don't care. Stupid Americans.
But then my question is then. So does that mean that if cases don't flare up, that all the people who went out already had it or are getting it and the symptoms aren't as bad for them? Because, like, either way, there should be cases flaring up. So either they're going to go unreported or, like, people already had the antibodies or something. Like, that's what but at the same time, the shit gestates for, like, what is it, like a week, 14 days or something? So it could take us, like, a month, really, to see any kind of effect from this.
Yeah, and I also think people just have it so in their heads now that it's over. They're like, even if like it starts to flare up a little bit, people are just gonna ignore it now because of ignorance.
Yeah. I mean, that's how the stock market's looking right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I sound really black-pilled here because I am, but like, I'm just giving my like, I don't know. I guess you could just tune me out and just listen to the other man on this podcast. Like my hot takes. Like, I'm just being honest. Dude, that's how I feel.
I mean, no. Yeah, listen, I understand entirely. I'm gonna feel frustrated, but at the same time, I'm not gonna lie, it's been sick being at home, and I mean that in a good way. And like, I have not had to fill up my tank once since March. It is amazing. Um, but also get well to anybody who's got sick, who will get sick, who has loved ones who get sick. Obviously, do not want any of that.
Yeah,
People
please,
getting sick is
please be
bad.
careful. Please
But
be careful, and please use your brains.
yo,
Like
then
we
I
got,
still
we don't.
wash your
Yeah,
hands.
like we all have brains larger than packing peanuts. Please use them.
Listen, it took me for this bullshit to actually start using the hand sanitizer dispensers they have at the front of every Walmart around here. Like, they've been having those for years. It's just, I just started using them now. So, really, this has kind of brought my personal hygiene to, like, where it should have been.
Like I'm still gonna wear the mask. Like I don't like just because
I
just
might
because
still,
yeah, like,
when
just
I'm
because
just pretty sick,
yeah,
I'm not going to lie.
yeah, just because everyone else thinks it's gone doesn't mean it's gone. Like just because everyone chose to ignore it now doesn't mean it's gone forever. Like
Also, we could actually, like, kind of just rock the masks now. Kind of like how they do with, like, Japan street fashion sometimes.
I really want one of those H Naoto masks. I really want.
Oh, speaking of, Bang dream to sell reusable cloth masks. This was something I brought up with Alexia on the interview. Big old designer for Ghost Girl Goods. Um, is it weird to have like designer masks and things like that? It's not like it hasn't already been a thing, right? But is there, in small part, something that feels kind of weird or like exploitative about it? I've been like real mixed on this.
A little bit because like the demand for it's there, but then like you can get to the point that like they're juicing the demand. Like I like they're like taking advantage of the fact that now there's a demand for it, but like at the same point that's business. This business, so like I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Like I'm pretty okay with capitalism things for the most part. So like, I mean, if the demand's there, then like sell the mask. It's fine. Like I want one. I want one.
There is a couple masks I wanted. Also, I feel so stupid for not scooping up Supreme masks before all this happened.
Yo, I didn't even know this existed. How's the Yeezy collector here not know about that?
I knew about it, but the thing was, I had a small part of my head that didn't think it would actually be big. I was kind of like, I was like, oh, that might be a thing to pick up. So like, I got like my one like dope ass Nike like athletic snood, which is like, it just makes you look like a goth tech ninja or whatever the fuck. Um, and then like 2 weeks after that, I could not find the same mask online for under a $30 premium of what I paid for it. So like the mask market started stacking up. I started seeing like people on my Facebook like start like selling like Disney themed shit for like 5 a pop. And like, first off, fucking respect the hustle. Second off, god damn it, I'm pissed I didn't buy that fucking Supreme mask.
I also I'm kind of interested in that $1 million orchestra face mask coming out. I'm not gonna act like I'm not.
There's a bunch of them that I want. I'm not gonna lie. Here's the catch, though. This is what I've been thinking. At this point, at least in the United States, you know, like everybody's in like different phases of like opening or already open because maybe, you know, they didn't completely shit the bed with quarantines in the beginning. Um, there's a lot of orders that are going on for masks right now, and I'm wondering how useful they're going to be by the time they come in. Yeah. And I'm saying that really optimistically, like hopefully it's a massive waste of money and time, but at the same time I'm like, yo, shouldn't y'all have, like, if y'all were going to do this, technically speaking, wouldn't it have been a good idea to act faster so more people would have been using it? Because at this point, I feel like a lot of people are going to like ditch the masks the second they can.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was thinking that too when I saw a lot of like different Japanese designers and stuff coming out with their face masks. I was like, I mean, Japan's a different market, and they like wear face masks way more often than us as like Westerners do. But
that's regular for them. That's every like flu season for them, pretty much.
But I typically have never really seen anywhere wear like designer face masks. You know, I mean, they just wear like the ones they buy at the store. But you know, like the paper ones. but a lot of them started like I was like, man, you guys kind of missed the mark on this by like
Yeah.
I get like production takes a little bit of like I mean I was thinking like a business wise I was like yeah, you guys kind of missed the mark on this a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Like there's a couple places where like if you were like selling anything that had like where you could like put a logo on a mask, that should have been the flag for a lot of companies to jump on that shit. Because immediately you're gonna have somebody wearing something on their face with your logo. I cannot think of a single better form of advertising. Like just from like a purely like logistical sense.
Yeah, like it's a little sleazy, right? But like that's the
Oh,
name. It's
absolutely.
the name of the game. It's the name of the game. Like I can't. Like if I was
Or
like I
they
can't say
could
I'm
have
against it.
or what they also could have done, and this is where I kind of wind up being like easing up on my skepticism, is like when you have like special fashion designer like mask, right? But like a large portion of the proceeds go towards COVID relief funds. Like then I'm like, oh, okay, so I'll buy this, and that like some of that'll go to that. So it's like also like you know it that eases my conscience a little bit.
I guess
But
but I
honestly,
feel like everyone feels like they're
mhm,
forced to have to do that now. Like it's really like at the end of the day,
I
like
don't
it's your
think there's
choice.
anything wrong with that.
Like
I don't
I
know.
don't think there's anything wrong with it. Obviously, it's really nice if you'd want to
Yeah,
give up money to
yeah,
charity. But
yeah,
like I
yeah.
feel like a lot of companies now feel like they're like, or like okay, if it's like a big corporation, it's a little different because they have that much money to spend. I'm talking
Yeah,
like little designers and stuff. Feel like they are like they have to, or else they're gonna
yeah,
get
yeah.
like have like a moral obligation or like to get cancer. Like at the end of the day, it's make product. There's a demand for the product. Someone buy the product.
Well, like what if Gucci came out with like $100 mask or some shit?
But that's like
See what I mean? You see what I mean?
I'm 50
That,
50. I'm 50-50 because that's way too much of a markup. But that's also part of the that's part of what Gucci is.
oh, I know, I understand that. It's just like adding the whole viral infection like link to it kind of like complicates shit. Where it's like, because otherwise I'd fully be in the vein of like, yo, that's what their prices are. You can pay them or you can not. You could just not buy them. Nobody needs this, right?
Yeah.
It winds up being that kind of thing, and then it's kind of like, although, and this is what I just thought. Um, I mean, companies like Pepsi or Coke or something like that could have just made masks with their logos on them and then just given them away,
I
and
guess. I guess in theory they
that
could
would have
have.
been that would have been like amazing advertising.
Yeah, I guess it's true.
You're gonna see it everywhere, especially if like they're comfy and like they don't like chafe your ears like a lot of them
Yeah.
do.
Well, I'm gonna be 100. I'm not walking around wearing a Pepsi mask. Like I'm just gonna. I guess
That
if
would
I had, I
depend.
mean, if I had no other mask, obviously I'm copping the Pepsi heat, right? But like, I'm just gonna go and like wear like the normal face mask I have. Not like I ain't gonna go wear around some Pepsi mask.
I mean, like I said, it would depend on it. It would depend on like the shoes I'm wearing, like if it pulls the outfit together, like maybe it's like red on top, blue at the bottom, white in the middle, like, but it's like one of those things where it's like a cloth and you like put it over your face. I don't know. There's a lot of ways you could do it. I doubt they put that much effort into it, considering like it's supposed to be for free advertising. But depending. Um, but that adjacent aside, um, you got San Diego Comic Con virtual event. You got Funimation, who is expanding their VR film streaming to Canada, UK, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, which I didn't even know about that at the beginning, but that sounds amazing.
Yeah, I'm really curious about that.
Well, it feeds into, and like I don't know if anybody else will be familiar, but Ilya Kuvshinov, which is like bar none, like at least like one of my top 5 favorite artists who draw weeb adjacent shit. This person is fucking godlike. I every single chance I have to like make one of their pictures my avatar or like a fucking banner, I do, because they're just amazing. They had an entire museum exhibit, and they had it added to a virtual artwork exhibition. I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting to wonder if part of all these lockdowns and anything isn't really one of the best advertising moments or promotional moments for VR?
Oh my god,
Because
absolutely! I was wondering,
yeah,
like when it started, I
mm-hmm,
because my best friend really likes playing his little VR game, right? I
mm-hmm,
make it sound like wow, that was the most
yeah,
condescending thing I've ever like. It sounded like I was like a mom coming downstairs, like you win the game
are
there,
you winning?
son. See, that's always kind of how I looked at it. I was never that. I was played VR a little bit. It was fun, but like I never really wanted to spend the money on it because I was like it'd be fun until I got bored of it real quick. But like,
Mm-hmm,
what's I was stuck in the house where I was like, damn, that'd be fun. Right, and he got his for like a
mm-hmm.
real good steal, and the only ones I could find of his exact model were like gouged, and out of stock everywhere except for eBay.
Did you get a Vive or what was it?
It was a Windows mixed reality. It was like one of the budget ones,
Oh,
but
oh,
they are
oh.
sold out everywhere. And to buy them off a reseller, they're like double the price. So I was
Oh,
like,
is
I
it
guess
what's it? HoloLens too?
pretty much all of them. Pretty much, honestly, almost except for like the top end ones, where like it's like almost 1,000, where like just people don't really want to spend the money unless they're like dedicated. You know what I mean? But like everything, everything
I
that
have something to comment on that specifically. We'll wait for after this pod, but it's very interesting about that. Continue.
yeah, so like basically all the VR headsets that weren't like the top of the line, like best ones,
Yeah.
um, like basically ones that people buy because they're bored because of locked up, right? Like Corona,
Yeah. What the fuck else are you
sold
gonna
out everywhere.
do?
So I was like, I guess I'm just not playing VR. I mean, I guess now I'm okay with it, but like I was like, like it could have been fun.
I have a real good example of a moment, and I was like trying to think of like when, especially in relation to Funimation's VR film streaming. I thought about it, and I was like, why does this sound so familiar? And then I remembered. So Gary's mod,
Wow. All right.
like, it was a time where like I got sucked into it by like a couple other people, and I like kind of like forced myself to like play it because like, well, I guess I want to be included, you know.
Yeah.
But there's like a function in there where you could like, because it's just a whole bunch of like just pretty much sandbox shit. You and then there's like movie theaters where you can just go with your avatar character and sit, and like people will just stream shit on the screen, like either YouTube videos or movies or something like that. And I thought, oh, that's exactly what this fucking is. Because like people would still legitimately sit in those fucking virtual auditoriums that they see like on their computer screen, that they're not even in virtual reality, but they will watch things like that because it's like when you go into one of those apps where you and a bunch of friends can watch a movie together and like comment and like shit post to each other about it right then
Dude,
and
you know
there.
what the old OGs of that is?
What?
Back way early, like early Netflix on the
Yeah.
Xbox 360 on Xbox Live, they had it was like the first Netflix app, and you could go on the Netflix app, and they had this thing where you on the 360 you could make you like it was like right when they came out, you could make your little avatar, right? And it'd be
Yeah.
Netflix group watching where your Xbox Live party could all watch
Ah.
Netflix together, and your little avatars would be like a theater watching the same thing. It was crazy.
Ah.
It was one of the most fun I've ever had in my whole life because we would just sit there and watch.
That's
We would just sit there on Xbox watching anime together. It was awesome.
Oh, that's sick. And that'd be fucking perfect with everybody. Like, the only thing we can't fucking do, like, is watch shit. There you go. Perfect. Everybody watch it together, and, like, you add the VR into it. Fucking next level. Done. Perfect.
Yeah, the Netflix show brought that back, dude. That would have been crazy.
They probably had, like, some sort of, like, licensing bullshit or something, or, like, they don't want people to, I don't know, like, hop onto other people's membership. I don't fucking know. I'm sure there's some stupid, like, borderline lawsuit reason why they haven't done it, because like it's that or they're just idiots, because they're like giving away money at this point. That would be perfect.
God, we would do it like every single day when we got home from school. It was like just watching
That's what
anime
I'm
together. It was
saying.
awesome.
That's what I'm saying. It'd be a reason for multiple people to have their own accounts. Actually, that would weed out a lot of people like sharing accounts, because say you would have to be on your own account and only one account could do that at a time. Boom. There you go. More members, because you want to like sign on and shitpost with each other, like right there, and just like shoot the shit.
Yeah, like it's like one of the few. I mean, I watched Full Metal Alchemist a lot, but I remember we watched it together on there. It was so much fun.
There you go. See, it's just like helping out and everything. I was gonna go into Evo. I really don't give a fuck that much. Honestly, there's not a whole lot to say except like Nintendo is shit at online, and that's why Smash isn't there.
No, I
But
think that's
go
the point.
figure.
There. That's the thing to say about that, though, is the fact that you don't give a shit is the whole reason why it's important. Because I've heard that they have cut so many games because they don't have good netcode or their Wi-Fi only, and
Oh,
so
I'd only heard.
no one gives a shit about Evo because they cut a bunch of games out.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't give a shit the second they said it was gonna be online because regardless, if you're not playing side by side, you're gonna have some amount of lag. You're gonna have some amount of delay or latency or something. You can't tell me there's not. And there's absolutely going to be some DQs because the Wi-Fi got fucked up.
Yeah, from what I know, and I don't follow Evo, but my best friend follows Evo, so I kind of like get it funneled to me that they cut a bunch of different games because the net codes weren't up to par, and added random games that were good with good net code that like just like random games from like like just stuff people normally would play.
Pony,
because,
the fucking
exactly because apparently that game because apparently that game has really fire net code, and so it beat out all these other like really crazy games that have shit net code, and then they cut Smash because it doesn't have fucking
that shit is trash.
Yeah, because
it's fucking trash.
Apparently because the Switch doesn't have the fucking you have to buy the adapter for the Ethernet. So because they don't even have like Ethernet as like something like standard, that is just, it's wiped out.
Yo, when a brony game beats your game out for net play, you need to reevaluate your life decision, son. Like, what the like? If this isn't a fucking wake up call, because like what the other thing I was hearing, and this is like a little bit into the conspiratorial like theory part of things, but that it may not have even been Evo that said no to Smash. It could have actually been Nintendo, because that would have highlighted how shitty the net play is, that they didn't want people like that highly advertised, because then they would get more shit for it.
Huh.
And knowing Nintendo, they do that shit. Like they have a history of pulling Smash from Evo, actually. This is a recurring thing.
Kind of related, off our little plans here. But we had a minor discussion about it. It's kind of related. Speaking of other things that are also now being forced to be played online instead of in person, and also are Japanese related, do you want a little discussion about Yu-Gi-Oh! Remote duels?
Oh my god! Just please explain this to me. I don't know goddamn thing about this. I thought for sure there was some sort of fucking joke.
So it started.
I have no other explanation.
It started in the OCG, which the people unfamiliar with Yu-Gi-Oh! Is like the Asian section of the trading card game.
So like Japan, Singapore,
Taiwan. They just recently added mainland China back onto the Konami website, which I found interesting.
Oh shit!
Korea. Right. So like that little section of the world, right? They originally started. It was called a remote duel, and it was when all of the a lot of the like the local tournament stores weren't hosting events anymore, and a lot of the big events like the regional events or the nationals or even now the World Championship qualifiers now postponed or canceled. So a lot of other card games have this like a computerized like a game version, right? Like a simulator, like a dueling simulator, right? Where you can play the same thing but online, and it's by the official companies. Konami has not done this, but there are unofficial dueling simulators that everyone else, the whole community base, uses because there is no substitute given by the actual company. So instead of
Konami isn't customer friendly. Go fucking figure.
Yeah, I know, shocking, right? So instead of making their own remote duel simulator to compete with all of the third party ones that they've been trying to copyright strike for like years now, they just came up with this Galaxy brand idea of remote duels. And originally when it was like brought out in the OCG, it was just like, oh, use your little smartphone and like play that way, right? Like through a webcam, right? I was like, oh, that's cute, whatever. It's like a one-off thing. It wasn't taken that seriously. They didn't really promote it that much, right? And then eventually that floats over on the little imaginary boat I have in my mind over to the TCG, which is Europe and North America and South America. And they take this and they're like, all right, yeah, they gave an actual pictorial like instructions of how to set this up. They expect you to have like multiple webcams and like an arm like a boom arm to set up the webcam
God.
and like a computer to hook this all up to. Like,
is it a fucking music video? What is this?
basically, like to point like extreme points where like you would have to spend for like the average person, you would have to go out of your way and order these things on Amazon and bring them in just to have this extremely convoluted setup, and then they expected all us to go on a community Discord to play competitive remote duels, and then they shut down the Discord in one day because it was a dumpster fire, and so that's the competitive scene for the Yu-Gi-Oh is a complete disaster of a remote duel.
I mean, listen, in Konami's defense, and this isn't much of a defense, it's not like Yu-Gi-Oh players aren't used to spending exorbitant amount of money to play.
Yeah, but like I agree, but like
actually getting a bunch of boom mics and a couple of GoPros would probably be more economically sound than buying whatever mainstream deck is out at the time.
I agree completely, but this is also promoted to the casual players, and like it's ridiculous, it's absolutely ridiculous. They expect you to set up this really complicated contraption to play the card game.
Oh my god! Why don't they God damn! I don't even know why I ask any questions. I know why, because it's fucking Konami, and Konami has never done anything that the customer likes since fucking I was gonna say Metal Gear Solid 5, but even then they like cut that prematurely, so I don't even fucking remember at this point.
Yeah, so that's my my little tangent on other Japanese related competitive games that have whiffed a little bit in light of COVID-19.
Oh my god! I mean, okay. So talk to me on this point, like red pill me. So what's going on with Japanese musicians in terms of like streaming and all that?
Okay, so initially when all the when the wave of COVID-19 came through, everyone was really worried about the music industry, especially in like Asia and Japan, and here too, obviously in the West, but we tend to focus a little bit on the Japanese side of things, especially myself. It's kind of my thing. So a lot of artists have switched to live streaming events, which is at first I was like, that's kind of cool. We'll see how this goes, right? It's been going really well, I think. Like Acme has been doing a lot of YouTube live streams. They've been really fun. They do a lot of different they do like lives. They do like little talk shows. That it's really creative and fun. I like it a lot. And also, bands like Owlland have been doing some YouTube live streams. Miyavi did a YouTube live stream and has also started Twitch streaming. I saw him play video games the other day. I thought that was.
I saw that. Miyavi has like a dead ass Twitch, and his setup is actually really fucking cool. I saw his room, and I was like, oh man, that's how I always wanted my room to look, with the fucking black lights and all the dope.
Yeah, he did a Holy Nights like Japan live, but it was from his little streaming room, and I was like, well, this is really cool. I like this. And then apparently now he's starting to do gaming streams on there too, which is a little veering off course from the music part we're going into. But there's a lot of different bands like that. They're doing their streaming their lives, doing little custom lives out of crowd online against and it's really fun to see all the little fans going in the chat and interacting with each other. And a lot of the bands are recurring a lot of the revenue they lost from this through super chats and like Twitch donations and stuff, which is a really good idea. Actually, it's really fun. It gives almost a little bit more of an interaction with like the artists and the viewers themselves too. You can never truly replace the interaction you have of a band playing live with the audience there, but like it's a different type of interaction. But this way online, it's almost a little bit more personal because it's almost more direct in a way. So that's really fun, especially Acme's been playing, like answering a lot of questions in the live stream chats and stuff. It's really fun. Going off that, a lot of other bands have been doing premieres where they'll take old live videos, like old concert DVDs and whatnot, and they're premiering them on stream. So, like YouTube recently released this premiere feature where it's like a live stream, but it's like a pre-recorded live stream, basically.
So like everybody can watch and like comment on it in like live time.
Yeah, and then afterwards they just go private, or some of them go private. It depends how the artist wants to do it, right? But One Ok Rock's done 6 of them so far. Damn, son. I believe it's from Jinsei Kakeru Kimi tour up until Ambitions. They've done pretty much all of their big major live events that have a Blu-ray release. They premiered them on YouTube, and people have been really excited about that too. Buck Tick's been doing a lot of that too with their debuting some of their live videos. Even some I believe that weren't on DVD, they're premiering them on YouTube. Datarama did that with their last one man. They actually had their last one man show, from what I'm aware of, on YouTube because they couldn't have the actual show.
Aww.
Yeah, so they had their disbandment show on YouTube, and they had a lot of different talk sessions and stuff too, where each artist would talk to the crowd and stuff. So
Damn, that sucks.
Yeah, like what a time to choose to disband. It kind of sucks, but like at the same time, it's more of the fans can appreciate, because like if for their last show, you'd have to be able to get a ticket to go, right? But like this way, you could any of the fans could have been there at that time and experienced it with them. So
that's a real good point.
Yeah, so you got to look at it different ways too. Darren Gray did a bunch of different. They did like I believe they did like a tour documentary and like a live. Like they did a live show premiere, and then they've been doing different talk sessions with each member of the band, like on different days. They had some where like each day of the week there's like Kaoru Kyo, so forth. Each day they had a different person talk. It was really cool. Mook had a remote super live, they refer to it as, and they all played live at home. And I was thinking about that.
Oh, I love that shit. I could have sworn I saw Acme do one of those things.
Yeah, they did that too, but they were all together. They were all together in the same room.
Okay.
But all the different members of Mook were in their own individual homes. And I was thinking the logistics of pulling that off had to have been really difficult. Because for one artist, like if I was to do it here, right? I'm one person. It's all set up in front of me, right? I could do it. Like if I wanted to have a show on Twitch or something, right? But the fact that they're all separate members remote from different places, having to be able to set all that stuff up, God, that would have been a nightmare. So like,
wait a sec. Was this live or was this recorded?
I believe it was live.
That is fucking crazy. Because I mean, think about it. Like just like speaking online, there's like that latency. So factoring in music, that's fucking crazy.
I'm not 100% sure it was live, but I'm like 95% sure it was live. So
even if it wasn't, that would still be like you would have to be on time all constantly, and it's not like when you're performing in a group together, if you get a little behind or a little ahead or something like that, like you can kind of like vibe off of everybody else. So like, yeah, holy shit. God damn, that's some fucking talent. I want to know what kind of Wi-Fi they had. Damn.
Yeah, I know, right? So they had that official Hige Dandism, which is like a really popular J-pop band that's like popped off in the past year. They had a couple videos premiere live. It was just like different little live versions of their different songs that premiered on their channel. It was kind of fun to watch. Unlucky Morpheus that had different member streams on their YouTube channel, which like they had like different talk sessions with different members. I think I saw them playing some different games and stuff too. So there's a lot of different artists really embracing the live stream. And one that really caught my eye because I was like, this is spicy. I guess it's Golden Bomber now has their own official YouTube channel instead of having it on their label's YouTube channel, and they've been like they streamed this. It was just a clock. It was just a clock, just like spinning. It was just a live stream, just like a random clock. It was just like weird, goofy Golden Bomber shit that you'd only see from them.
Yeah.
And Show just did like it was like hours long video of him just like sitting at a creek and just playing on his phone. There's hour-long video of him just in
that
the
sounds
hot
kind of
tub.
comfy. I'm not gonna lie.
No, it was a mood. It was definitely a mood. It was just kind of, it's like, you like put those like the firewall video or like the fireplace videos on in the background. It was kind of like that.
Yeah, that's kind of a vibe. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
if there's like some like chill tunes, or like even like the sound of like crickets chirping or something.
It was just like there's just like the little sound of the stream. He put a little mic next to the stream. It's just a little stream as he's like sitting just playing on his phone. Like it was like that weird goofy shit that you'd only see Golden Bomber do, but I actually like that a lot. I like that a lot.
Fucking much. Oh my god, that is so on brand. I fucking love that.
Yeah, and then I gotta say, at least to me, the biggest thing I saw that was premiered on live stream during this lockdown was Mook's Trigger in the Box 2019. It was rebroadcasted on YouTube and Nico Nico. And for people that don't know what Trigger in the Box is, it's like this yearly event that's normally it's promoted by Mook. It's like their special event they started, and it's been going on for a good couple years now. I think almost a decade now at this point. And they always invite different artists to come on, and it's a 2-day event where they all they each have their own acts, and they play each different day. But then they also make songs together and do covers of each other's songs and play. So it ends up being it's like super bands, like one day super band collaborations. So this year we had Mook, Delaranger, Hyde, Old Codex, Desert, Okayu, which is members from Sid, Ken from Lark NCL, K, Shinya from Duran Gray, 44 Magnum, and Doncho from No God. Doncho was the MC.
Is that shit still up? Like,
it's still up right now. Yeah, they kept this up. These are fire, dude. You have to watch these. They're so
hell
good.
Yeah.
There's a 2-day event, so you can find day 1 and day 2. My favorite collaboration was they had like a super band collaboration of Vivid Colors, and it was Mal from Sid, Mia from Mook, Miyato from Desert, and Shinya from Duran Gray playing. It was awesome. It was awesome. I loved all these, and then Shout at the Devil, the Lark NCL song, was sung by Hyde and a bunch of the other members too. It was really cool just seeing all these like really famous different bandmen just like coming together and like covering each other's songs. It's really fun. And
awesome as fuck.
The single sets were fire too. Like Hyde's set was really fun. I really enjoyed Mook's set too. So it was really exciting to watch. It was cool. Just give you something a little nice, and it was different. It was like, you're only really going to see them play that type of collaboration during that one event. So Trigger the Box has always been something like a really special event to go to. I've always wanted to go see it in person, but now we get to see it on YouTube too. So I at least get to experience a little bit of it myself.
It's like how you said it. Oh, it actually in a way like opened up availability.
Yeah.
Huh. I mean, hey, silver linings, I guess we got to take them when we get them. Yeah, that's super shit. You're gonna give me that link, right?
Oh yeah, I'll pass it to you.
I swear to God, like awesome, I'm gonna jam this out for fucking hours.
Yeah, I'm just playing a bunch of random songs too that he normally doesn't play, which I thought was really cool. Like he played a Vamp song, he played Glamorous Sky. It was like a bunch of like stuff he normally doesn't have on a set list recently. That was really cool. A lot of the Mook songs too. I think they played a couple, like, lack of a better term, retro songs. It was fun. I liked watching all of it.
All right, fucking lit. Can't wait to fucking wake up tomorrow and just hit that shit all goddamn day. What's up?
You'll like this too. They did a like a super collab, like a super band version of Ready Steady Go.
Of course they fucking did. Of course they fucking did.
Yeah, you got Duran Gray Shinya on the drums for that one, so you'll like that.
Oh, you just cleared out my entire day tomorrow. You know that, right?
Yeah, I got you, bro. Yeah, I'll pass you those links. Don't even worry about it, dude. I'll pass you the little digital doob.
Hell yeah. That's all I got on my end. It seems like we actually like made it to the end of this docket without spreading out too much. Congrats to myself, Pleiades, and also, as always, the wonderful, amazing, loyal, and very talented Deputy Dangles.
Thank you, Bro Chacha. I appreciate that.
Always and forever. Always and forever. Anything you want to say in closing or anything?
Check out the links below. We got some links to all of our different articles, our social medias, also our personal social medias too. And keep an eye out for this podcast. I'm really having fun doing it, and we're going to have some special guests on soon. It's going to be a blast. So if you like it, let us know. Follow the socials, and put in the comments if you have any suggestions, or honestly, if you just want to roast me, just like go for it. Like, if you don't like it,
roast him, not me. Like, actually, you know what? Roast me too. I don't give a fuck.
Like, just go on. Because like I feel like a lot of this this project's a lot of lands on my shoulders, like with editing and stuff. Like, if you don't like it, just go in on me. Just go in on me, because it's how I learn. I'm gonna be 100. If you don't like it, just shit on me. It's okay.
There you go. So once again, this has been the TBP Treasure Box Press Podcast, episode 1. Thanks again for joining us. Be kind to each other, be safe, all that, have fun, and see ya.
Matane.